All right, what's up, Purist? This is Bob from Purist Motorsports. Let's do a little video and talk about this little red car behind me. It's a 1990 Saleen base model car. According to this right here, yeah, the Saleen Bible, as a lot of people call it. It's the last book that's been put out on Saleen production. But it's a base model car. There's a lot of things wrong with it, typical of a car that's gone through several hands of ownership. The things are missing from it. So you know what, instead of just talking about it, let's take a little tour. Come on, let's go. First off, right here, this right here, this wing is wrong. There are two designs that Saleen used from 87 to 93. This is the 87 to 89 and 92, 93 style. It is most likely a replica by Cervini's or a number of different manufacturers out there who make them. This has been replaced. The hatch has also been replaced. You can see right here the DOT. It is a Ford piece, which is good, but it is a replacement piece. It does not have any seam sealer in it anywhere. Right here, if you look along there, there's always seam sealer. And it is a later model hatch because it's got this bumper. A lot of the earlier cars don't have this bumper, but the later 92, 93 cars do. So that tells me this has been replaced. The wing on this car is supposed to be a double, what they call quote double stack wing. This car does not have it, and this has been replaced. This is not going to stay on this car. It's not correct. I've got another hatch off of another car. Stay tuned. I've got more coming. This hatch will go on, and the hatch on that car will come on this car. It's actually an OE hatch with the correct style base wing. That's good shocks. Good shocks. So that's not correct. We're going to change it. The other, it's not correct, is stuff with a small space, typical of anybody who's working on cars, is this right here. These headrests are wrong. It's not supposed to be the bread loafs. It's supposed to be the netted halo headrests, of course. That's infamous by Saleen and the Foxbodies. This car has a 2-point interior brace, but I've had it taken out. I'm actually having a few made. I'd like to replicate those. So the other thing that's not correct here, we'll go, is the shift knob. That's not correct. Stereo is not correct. It's supposed to be an old Pioneer unit tape deck with the BP 880 equalizer. This one's also been modified. The door panels have these in it. Speakers, small tweeters, you know, typical Foxbody problems. We'll fix all of that though. Yeah, this is broken. It's just well worn. Let's see if I can get this moved forward. There we go. Woo! It's just really worn. There's all the parts, things that are waiting to go on. But it's a typical run-of-the-mill Fox that someone has worn out. But it's been in an accident. The door, this is remove the trim there. If you see that. The other thing here is the suspension is not correct. This is good stuff, but it is not what this car came with. We may do a couple of things with it that would be Saleen spec, but not be exactly what came on it. I've got some 93 SC and SA10 the caster camber plates, an extra set. Probably put on it, and I'll probably put conies on it. It's one of my favorites. I'll have conies and Bilsteins. But you can see here, this is good stuff. It's the nice coilovers from Maximum Motorsports, and it's their kit with their shocks that have been modified. So the rear also has it too. It's been well, someone spent some money on it, so it's definitely a good quality product, but it's going to go on another car. Again, stay tuned, got more coming, but it's going to go on another car, maybe one that would take wheel-to-wheel combat. We'll see. The wheels, this is not the correct offset for this car, but it is the brand and style of wheel that came on it. So I know it's American Racing, ARE as some people call it. I don't know the model number of this wheel. If someone knows that, please comment below. That'd be good help. I've never actually looked it up, but I know American Racing was a supplier for Saleen from 87 to 91. And I think prior to that it was Anki, or Anki, some people call it. And then, what was it, Riken? I don't know how to say them, so maybe you can tell me how to say it if you're from the area where that product's been made. But anyways, there's that there. The car also has the Saleen spec subframe connectors. So for Saleen, they did the bolt-in subframe connectors, very similar to what Ford Motorsport offered, but it is just a bolt-in affair, not welded, so better than nothing, I guess. But that's spec for 1990-91, supposedly all the way through 93, but it can be hit or miss depending on Saleen's production and what they had on hand. This car definitely has seen some brutal jacking, typical of any Foxbody. This is repairable, but the only way to properly do it is to pull it back down, hammer and dolly it, and then take it and put it on a frame machine and yank it straight back down. That's really the best way to do it. The other things that are all going on with this, you can see the SBE boxes. It's not an SBE product that was in it. It was these springs right here. Those are actually out of the other Saleen I used to own and sold to a friend, and he didn't need the springs, so he had them powder coated and put them on a shelf, and then sold them to me so that I would have it. That's awesome. So more. This was a Bleakley Ford car. I didn't quite understand the significance of that until a few people pointed me in that direction. Well, not a number of years ago, not too long ago, about what Bleakley did. They sold a lot of Foxbody Saleens, touted themselves as the largest Ford Motorsport dealer in the country at the time. And then they also touted themselves as the #1 Saleen dealer at the time. It is a big dealership that recently just changed hands in July of 19, I believe. So it's been in, well, they've been a dealer a long time. I don't know if the name stays or if it's someone that's changing it. Anyways, the Bleakley Ford was a big deal back in the late 80s, early 90s. They were one of the first ones to supercharge a Saleen at the dealer. This car was an Impressor car. How significant that is, I've yet to find that out. There's more information on it. Maybe the people that watch this can comment and let me know. There is definitely an aura about these cars that came from Bleakley. This is a base model Saleen. Base, as in it came with suspension, your standard base model Saleen options at the time. No SC, valve covers, no SC. I mean, it just didn't have any options other than the subframe connectors and your typical ground effects and suspension pieces, brakes that were offered by Saleen for base model. Obviously they had the SC and 90, so you could order it with the upgrades it had, the 300 4 horsepower, I forget the number, but the 300 horsepower motor, the Pro-M mass air meter, blah, 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 all those things, big radiator. This car did not have any of that according to the Saleen book. It was just a converted LX, if you want to call it that. But there are pictures of this from late 1990 or early 1991 that show it with a supercharger, a Paxton. It also has like SC valve covers, which would be chrome valve covers, or polished. I think some of them have polished. It has a 65 millimeter Motorsport throttle body. It has a 65 millimeter or 67 millimeter EGR spacer. Those are Motorsport products that Saleen used on their SC. It also has the blue SVO or Motorsport roller rockers from that time. So it has a lot of items from what would be a Saleen SC option type vehicle, but this one is not that at all by the Saleen book. It is a base model car. So it led my curiosity to find out what it came with, and I've actually made contact with one of the technicians that did the work on these cars, so I'm hoping to do a podcast with him. Also find out what was done to this car, because it had a supercharger on it. I've sourced one. It's in a box, and we're going to put it back the way it was at that time. Maybe I can edit in a little picture of magic in this video, but this is really just kind of a call it a quarantine quick. You can tell by the white t-shirt. So I'm not really doing anything fancy here. I just wanted to start talking about this car and what we're going to do. We're going to put it back as close to factory as it can, based on what we've got now. That's where I am. This car is it needs a lot of love, as most old Fox bodies do, and hopefully we can enjoy a little time together. You can follow along on the website puristmotorsports.com. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to comment, help me out, figure out what's going on. If you're near Bleakley in the late 80s, early 90s, and you know what's going on, you got pictures, dealer pictures, would love to see those. If you know of anybody that's working on cars like this in their garage, 25 years old and older, doesn't matter what brand, make, model, I'm interested in trying to put that on the website and then hosting a vlog about it, or blog. Would love to know what's out there, what people are working on. Doesn't matter if it's BMW, Mercedes, old Foxbody Saleen. We're going to stay true to the roots of the cars and their time period. So anyways, peace out, much love.